Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you had one.
Yeah, I can show you.
We're not a visual podcast,
and we're gonna do it.
You can hear, audience, you can hear the crinkling plastic.
The 15 people who listen to our show like religiously just cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like crinkling plastic. Ah, why?
Crinkling. Welcome again to this episode of Zero to Hero. I hope all you grid travelers have found the right podcast to listen to. Thanks everyone for joining us on another episode of Zero to Hero. I'm Billy, and I'm always joined by my brother Jim, who's trying to get out of his turtle shell today.
I'm Turtlfied and not certified. Wait.
I hope to God you're not, because I'd hate to see what you'd look like if you were certified.
You know, I actually have certifications. Let's go get the binder out. Hold on.
Okay.
This one says the IRS I owe them money.
Oh yeah. Per last episode, how much do you owe?
You don't want to know.
Okay.
You don't want to know. Like
Well, you know what?
I'm writing this off on my taxes right now.
Well, you know
That's
what?
how bad it is.
So tonight's episode, we should crawl into this at a slow pace.
Yeah. Let's take this as slow as possible. The turtle always wins the race, right?
The tortoise beats the hare all the time.
That's right. I'm gonna beat the hair of the IRS with this episode.
I really hope the IRS is not listening, because I don't want to get my door kicked in and get on the ground. No.
Yeah, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Yeah, get him, IRS, get him. He's been avoiding taxes for years. He has a secret Mexican bank account.
Jimmy has a secret rat that lives under his house that teaches 4, maybe 5 turtles how to fight kung fu.
Wait, are the turtles conspicuously named after Renaissance artists?
Yes.
I think we might be onto something here.
We're onto something.
Cody, you got something about this?
Yeah. Tonight's guest. So tonight's guest is one of a kind that I've come across, and I've started to love his content and his unboxing, even though it breaks my heart to see him take things out of the box.
You have a heart.
Well, what's left of it. But tonight I want to welcome on Cody. That he is probably one of my favorite TMNT content creators on TikTok and YouTube.
Well, thank you. That's a very, very kind intro, and I don't unbox everything. I'm kind of choosy.
Oh yeah, I seen your little trick though on the blister packs. How you just cut the side and then slap it back in there.
Yeah, for some reason it occurred to me just a bit ago to start doing that, because I just can't. I don't know. I'm a sucker for packaging, so if you just do
there you go,
the flap and slide it out there, it keeps it. You can still hang it on the wall if you want.
That's what I'm talking about, Jim. I know this is process overload for you, but that's how you do it.
I mean, it's that, or you buy doubles. So.
Oh, that's what I do. I'll buy doubles and triples and.
We get the X-Acto knife out and then scotch tape and I hope this goes back in the box correctly.
Please, God.
Yeah.
But yeah. So tonight's episode, we're actually going to talk to Cody about a very, very popular. Well, I wouldn't say popular because it wasn't popular back then, but it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with the In Space Power Rangers.
The one high point, one low point. Mm-hmm.
I think the kids today would call it cursed.
Five Nights at Freddy or something like that. Is that their word for cursed now? I've heard the neighbors kids say it a couple times.
Well, oh, really?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
It's Five Nights at Freddy, and I'm like, the hell are you talking about?
They might. Now that you mention, I feel like in my lives, people have brought up Five Nights at Freddy's, and I'm just like, the hell are you talking about? Where does this come from? And maybe that's what they meant.
I'm always very confused. To be fair, though, I don't have any children, so they say things, and I'm like, shut up. You don't have a voice yet. Calm down.
Yeah.
You're not 18. I don't care what your opinion is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge gulf between us and kids now, and it only gets worse.
Yeah.
The
older I get, the more I understand why Dale and Brennan off of Step Brothers beat the kids up at the playscape.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The more I get older.
Every day we soar closer and closer to Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Every day.
I'm making that into a shirt.
Just on the back of it, do we become best friends? Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Even better, we have it in our 40s.
Yeah. Oh my god, he's like, "Why are you sweaty?" I was watching Cops. That movie, I swear to God, I watch it anytime it's on.
That's an all-time classic.
Catalina wine mixer.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Catalina.
Catalina wine.
Yeah. You mess with my nut, Brennan, and you're gone. Oh my god.
All right,
But,
so from one classic to another classic of
Yeah.
the TMNT in space crossover. Who wants to start this one? It's
So
know-
did you watch it when it originally aired, Cody, or
I did. So like I grew up. Probably some of the first stuff I watched was the TMNT cartoon. But I was kind of still. It's strange because it's something I watched all the time, but I don't have necessarily like solid recollections of it, which is weird because it like just goes through your brain. And then of course, as that kind of Turtle Mania died down and they were struggling to keep it going, compete with like Power Rangers and stuff.
Oh.
Then they released this. So at the time I was, obviously watching Power Rangers and this. And I kind of, at the time I loved Next Mutation. If you believe it, I taped it on VHS.
wow,
So
that
watch
just,
it
that
later.
just dated. That aged you right there. When you just
Yeah,
said
man, you had to
VHS.
program that shit. You had to specify the time,
Yeah.
the channel.
That's right.
Did you have to copy over your free HBO weekends up like VHSs, or you had separate ones just for TMNT?
I mean, yeah, I was lucky enough to have like actual VHSs. I think over time I think I might have recorded over them with like the projects. Do you guys remember that? Like
Oh my
Claymation
God,
show.
Yes. Wow, you're the first person I've ever known that's referenced the projects.
Yeah,
But-
I'll have to dig through. I probably still have that on VHS recorded.
Wasn't it
my
called
God.
the PJs?
Yeah, the projects are PJs.
Yeah, the PJs. It was
Oh,
like
the
Eddie
PJs.
Murphy or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, the PJs. Oh my God,
He's like,
that
"What you
show.
doing,
Thurgood?
Super?" Yeah, Thurgood. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
we
Super.
would get the HBO free weekends, and we would just like we would just record everything that came on that weekend. That's
Is
actually
that where
how we
you,
got
did you have to like break the tab off it
no for VHS
or put the tab back in? Because what is it with VHS? Is like because they had like the little tab, and if that's busted, you can't record on it. Or I can't remember which it is.
I can't
we
remember.
would pop one in, and then we would go do something for the day, and then come back like 6 hours later when there was like, or 4 hours later, put another one in and keep recording.
Yeah.
Damn,
That's
That's
actually how we
smart.
got. Yeah,
That's
we got
smart.
so we got the first Pokemon movie, Pokemon 2000, and some other movies. I just remember those two.
It's beyond my wildest dreams.
That was us.
Well,
We had
yeah.
the tinfoil covered antennas.
Oh,
There was at
nice.
one point where I was strapping batteries to the bunny ears because they got better reception with batteries.
After he licked the batteries, I told him to stop it.
I believe
No,
it.
it's usually I would tape them to the window, and then I would put a battery. I would wrap the wire around the battery, and I would tape it to the window. And we lived in Austin. We went San Antonio Saturday morning cartoons.
It's your own like bootleg amplifier.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
yep. Oh, it
Nice.
works.
To this
It
day, the
won't work
government
now.
don't know about it. So,
It won't work now. They figured it out.
yeah.
Yeah, no, like it was pretty cool. Like I was like, we were just messing with stuff, and yeah, we figured. I think that's what got me in my DAC of stealing things. Wait, what?
Wow.
Wait,
I
let's
guess
cut
tonight's
that.
a confession episode.
Hey, it's TMNT approved. TMNT are nothing but thieves. They steal everything they have. So
They pay for
Oh,
pizza,
that's
man.
right,
They pay
yeah.
for the pizza though.
Yeah.
They,
But
they're
yeah,
they
you
don't.
polite.
They don't tip. They like stiff the driver.
Oh, yeah, they
Aw.
don't tip. They don't tip. Oh, I've lost all respect for
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the worst.
them. They would be completely reasonable anywhere else in the world except for here. Because
There's a-
anywhere else in the world you don't tip because everywhere else in the world gets living wages.
Seems
True.
like there's a darker side to these turtles than we thought.
There really is. The
Okay.
sewers are not clean at all.
They run rampant of thievery.
with their filth.
But yeah, we also saw that in the Power Rangers crossover too. How they were they were brainwashed for a little bit.
Okay. I want to know is how the hell did a shaman know about the turtles?
The turtles.
How?
Yeah,
Like at no point has they ever been referenced ever before in the show, in the Power Rangers ever before. And then Ashana was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go get these turtles," and I'm like, "How did she know about them?"
Well, it's true. And also, like, the turtles know about the Power Rangers and think they're, like, just fake.
Yes.
And apparently the Power Rangers know
wouldn't-
about the turtles and also think they're fake. So they
Why-
live
why-
both live in a world where, like...
Why
which
wouldn't
I
Turtles
guess
just go
in
pick up
kind of a
Shredder?
headcanon, it kind of makes some sort of sense. Because, like, imagine Bigfoot was real, but we all say he's bullshit. He could be out there.
Yeah.
He's legit, you know? Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, like, there's multiple times in media where, like, there's, like, in the news, there's video evidence of, the Power Rangers, in a Megazord attacking things.
Yeah.
True. But these turtles can also breathe in space. So, we're
That
living...
too. They were on the boards in the no helmets. God dang it! I didn't realize that till now you said that. God
Yeah.
dang it!
There's just like that little girl who can breathe in space too.
Oh yeah, there's a little girl that does that too. Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's some, like, space, like a special space suit they
You know
gave
what?
them.
You know what? Magic. We're gonna go with magic.
Venus does have, like, mystic magic kind of powers. So
Yeah, she
Yeah,
does.
just magic. We can go with that. Yeah.
that could explain it.
Did you watch a new D&D movie yet?
Oh, I love the new D&D movie.
So like everything,
He's
like
got all the toys of it.
how
I'm the
how are we
one-
gonna fix it? Let's use magic. Magic can't fix everything. Magic.
I'm the one person buying the D&D toys.
You're
I kinda
keeping the
want them.
D&D line alive.
It breaks my damn heart that movie wasn't, like, a huge success.
I want a Helga figure because Helga was great.
I have
Olga.
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 See, and I mean, I guess being Power Rangers guys, like, you're knee deep into Hasbro.
Oh yes.
There's something about Hasbro figures they just don't feel like $25 to me. So it kind of breaks my
Ooh,
soul.
I'm at that
to
point
buy
too
'em.
right now.
I will definitely agree with you on that. Like they keep making the prices go up, take the windows, and now the quality control's just down the rolling down.
I am considering buying Mayfex toys now, like figures. Like I'm at that point where like I'm gonna start buying other things. Like Hasbro is just meh.
Yeah, it's strange because like Mayfex gets more expensive, but and whether it's worth it or not, it feels maybe like it's worth it.
Yeah, it
But
feels
increasingly,
like-
like Hasbro, like if Hasbro was like 15 or 20 tops, like McFarlane, if it was
Back
like
when
20,
they were $20, yeah, it was great. Like I
Yeah.
was, I would drop
yeah.
$100 to 4 figures if they were the same quality, But now I don't know, man. I'm just okay. We can get into that later. we
Sorry,
have
I'm
to-
the
we
worst
have
for
to-
keeping things on track. I'm an absolute menace.
We'll get into this later. We still have stuff to talk about with the show, and we have
Yeah.
conspiracy theories. Then we can talk about then we can talk about Hanson Splinter, and then we can talk about toys.
Yeah.
So the show, did you guys hate it?
Well, I liked it when it first aired, but now that I'm older and I rewatched it, I'm just like, what was I thinking?
I was
Yeah,
really
it
mad
definitely
how the
doesn't
turtles
hold
were
up.
not represented
No.
correctly at all. Like they really weren't. Like, but I do like that. Okay, so like when the turtles first show up, and like they're like, "Oh, hey, it's the TMNT." I'm like, how the hell do you know what these people are? And like they're like go back and forth, and it goes to Andros with like this most scowl on his face and the side of a helmet you've ever seen, like just the most pissed off looking face behind a helmet. That
Yeah.
suit actor deserves more money. Like he nailed that scene of just like disgruntled, angry.
Yeah.
For
person.
sure, yeah. Now that you point, I realize that, like, yeah, even in the helmet, like he's just sus as hell.
Scowl.
Yeah, you just got that feeling of he's gonna murder someone.
Now, the one thing I do like about the episode that kind of like links me to the turtles is like their humor. They still held the humor as they normally would in other like before the show, like, and still to this day,
Yeah, they're very
like-
quippy. They got that Spider-Man kind of quip
Yeah.
constantly going
Well,
on.
they are New Yorkers, so it's
Yeah.
either quippy or angry. So you get one.
So
That's all you get.
I like that. That's what I like the most about that. But yeah, I don't understand most of it. And then I don't know, as somebody that has wired things and seen circuit boards when they took over the
they're
mega
just
ship,
cutting the wires.
cutting wires, and then all of a sudden her voice changes. There's no data cable, man.
Like, this doesn't make any damn sense.
This time it makes no sense.
It's funny as you grow older, like the things that you're just like, no, that's bullshit. That can't.
Yeah.
Like I've made props for that. That doesn't make any damn sense. Like no,
I did like you as like Donatello's having to like rewire the ship. You see his like sausage fingers, and he's just like,
Yeah.
I like the
Yes.
where
Just
they're
like
about
noodle
to,
hand in it.
where he's about to cut the wires. You see Deca like come around the corner like on the stick. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Clearly was held by a person because it was shaking. Clearly.
I don't know. And then near the end of it, they know how to fly the ship.
Somehow knew how to fly that ship. First time in space, know
First
how to
time
fly a
ever.
spaceship. I know Donnie's supposed to be smart, but he's not that smart. Come on.
Well, they're also like if you from the perspective of they're just like turtles just living in trash water and they've somehow built all this stuff. They're adapting constantly. They're like, what
Well,
kind
Donnie
of
built all the stuff.
literal
They
lumps of
are.
feces can we fashion into high-tech equipment?
Oh God, yeah. Well, yeah, they are super geniuses basically. So I could see that they learn how to fly it.
Donnie's a super genius. The rest of them are just kind of like, well, not Mikey. Mikey's not that smart. Mikey's special.
Well,
That's why Mikey's my spirit animal.
yeah.
I loved
He's
him
just
in the
winging it. He's the ultimate winging it.
2012 series where he like ends up in the Dimension X. So he's like, "How do you survive? Oh, it's easy."
Yeah, he's like a Dimension X genius
Just so weird.
for sure.
Okay, but yeah, the episode it was fine for like the 90s, like early 2000s,
Yeah.
like or late 90s. It was fine. Like it was the kind of humor that kids were into at that point in time, like that skater kid vibe to it too.
No,
which is fine. Estrada would shoot the scenery the entire time she was on screen because
Oh
that's
yeah,
what
she
Estrada
was
does.
she was giving it her all. She was.
Yeah, in leather too, which is great.
Yeah.
Kudos to her.
I can say and even watching it now, there's a strange magic. Even though these suits, like as they're moving around, you can see like in the back of the shell, you can see where it's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah,
I don't know if they did
started.
like extra spandex or there's just gaps for movability. And like you can see like obviously the flaws and the constraints with the budget, but there is a strange magic even now. And there certainly was back then just to have turtles, like live action turtles. Like it still scratched
I
that
will
itch.
say their
Yeah.
faces are super animated, and I like that quite a bit. Like
Yeah.
they can move their eyebrows moved a lot. Though their lips don't always sync up correctly, but like their eyebrows moved quite well.
I wish they would have invested in heads that didn't have teeth because they pretty much either have like it's like a semi-closed teeth mouth or like full gaping teeth mouth, and there's almost never anything in between. So you have those shots where they're like,
Yeah.
Like Saban's
Yeah.
a good thing for one head sculpt, right?
The one thing I did like about that you could tell them apart was even though they were colored bandanas, but they were all different fashion to them. And I like that. How
Also
each one had a different style.
Yeah, their bodies are a little different each one of them too, which
Yeah.
that was great. Like Venus is the girl, so she had to have turtle boobs, and the boys just looked a little different.
Just don't understand that.
Why? I know they were trying to add another character for like the girls
Yeah,
to
I
get
think
into the
they
shows
were.
with. But
Wasn't at that point in time where they were trying to appeal to like the girls at the time.
yeah. So fun fact. So the next mutation was made basically because Turtle Mania died. They didn't want to pick up the cartoon show anymore, so they were just kind of just shopping it around just to anybody who would take it. And that's where Saban took it, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll make a show," but the stipulation was they had to have a girl turtle,
Oh.
or Saban wouldn't do it.
Was this okay? Because I think that Laird and Eastman, did they approve that too, or?
So Laird
Or
and
do they have-
Eastman, that's another strange thing because like they did the comics, then they set up the toy line, and to sell the toy line, you have to do a cartoon show, and the cartoon show explodes, right? And so then the TMNT Empire, the comics were doing very well, but it just went so crazy that, and you can see it in the comics, they even had to that's why they started getting more like guest artists and guest writers because they were increasingly having to deal with more of the business.
yeah,
So they were still involved at that time, but
Didn't
not.
they split up at one point.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
split.
they slowly grew apart, and I'm the worst for the dates, but eventually Kevin Eastman sold his rights to it to Peter Laird, and so Peter Laird kept it going for a while. He did the 2003 show, that was his baby,
Yes.
until he eventually sold it off to
Yeah.
Viacom, Nickelodeon.
Yeah. I saw he has his own building dedicated to old TMNT stuff, and Eastman and Laird will occasionally meet there to go through old nostalgia and stuff.
Yeah, and their relationship has been repaired, and they've actually gotten together on like it's the Cartoonist Kayfabe podcast. I don't know if anybody listens to that, but they've gone over like did like a commentary basically on the first like 7 issues, so each one is like an episode. So they've slowly
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
come back together. But yeah, I don't think they were very involved in this show at all because they were clearly, I think, pretty checked out and kind of
Right.
Yeah,
at that point they had
point.
gotten beaten down to the horror that they had created.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
they started
sure,
that in what,
make this
80,
show.
What was,
I believe
when they
it was
start?
84.
83,
The first
83,
comic
84?
came out.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
that
have
was
people
late to the
like
20 or late 19s or 90s. Yeah, that's
yeah.
20 years or you're done.
Like,
Yeah.
I was in a store or something, like somebody was asking like, why do all the turtles like every box is a different color, but like when you open up they all have red bandanas? And I was like, well, if you ever watched the original cartoon series, they were all red. Or the first the comic series,
No, yeah, they all look the same.
they
Yeah.
all
Yeah,
had the
because
red
they were
ones.
black and white, and then when they did
Yeah.
add color, they did the red bandanas. So
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, that's an interesting little fact and stuff about that and how
Which I still like the fact the original TMNT comics are way darker.
oh dude, yeah.
Oh my god, they're so dark.
yeah, they stab Shredder the first issue.
Oh yeah.
Though they also do bring in like the cornball humor, so it's not too far off.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's just when I read it, I was like, oh, hey.
Yeah, it's definitely
Alright, I
different
can
than,
see how people
especially
watch this.
with like the cartoon show or like this show where they'll spend like 3 minutes doing like a backflip and just
Yeah. Yeah. That's them. But yeah, they gotta appeal to a young audience who's at the time.
yeah. Though I do think this show is it's better than people give it credit for. And because like my theory is because it comes across in live action like super corny and super cheesy.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you wrote those same lines and you put them in a cartoon, it would just go by better because you're like, oh, that's a cartoon. It's supposed to be ridiculous.
Well,
Yes.
like,
And
that
then
goes
if you did
to,
those same lines in a comic, because I've also been reading like the TMNT Power Rangers comic,
yeah,
which is written very well. But I was also thinking like you can also like get away with super ridiculous things in a comic because you're reading it yourself, so you don't have like Astronema's like crazy acting to be like,
yeah.
okay, tone it down, lady.
Yeah.
It's like I understand you want to be an icon, but you know,
Yeah.
5 steps back.
Yeah. It's like the leather gave her power.
That's
Jesus
right.
Christ.
Well, it's the same thing. Did you watch the or did you attempt to watch the Cowboy Bebop live action like series on Netflix?
I have. I think all like the reaction to it scared me away sufficiently.
So like it was like scene for scene, not scene for scene, but really close scene for scene of the anime. And it works, like everything works really well in the anime because it's an anime, but they try to do the same thing in live action and it just doesn't sit the same.
Yeah.
Because it just, your brain knows it's not supposed to
yeah,
work like
for
that.
sure. Because you're like
Yeah.
your brain, you intrinsically know like how humans work, and so
Yeah.
like even again, that's where I'm thinking like even if you took the same lines and have like them read in a cartoon, you're like, oh well, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
That's fine. And so I do think it's really interesting when you transfer something over into that.
Yeah. Though I will give the TMNT Next Mutation, I'll give them credit because they were ahead of their time for like costumes and stuff. Because besides that, you had some real, janky TMNT other ones from the movies.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
those movies were a little rough, yeah.
Yeah, those were a little
yeah,
rough.
I think people don't also give enough credit like how expensive this stuff truly is.
Yeah, it was pricey. Yeah.
Like, building a costume, like, Saban hit gold with Power Rangers because he could just get the costumes from Toei.
Toei.
And, like, it was fine. With these, they actually had to make them themselves and, like, look at roughly the same amount, like, same era with costume design. It was rough. Really
Yeah.
rough. Like, look at X-Men, right? X-Men came out just a few years later, right? The first one, and they went all leather suits because it's just easier to do that and less expensive than doing the yellow spandex.
That sucks.
For sure. Yeah, it was
They were
smart.
just cheaper.
It was
so
smart.
much cheaper.
Even like the Power Rangers just doing their like spandexy stuff, super smart. Though, like I'm continually impressed and hear where like they did such phenomenal work on their villains and their costumes. Like that's top notch. It's almost kind of crazy that they didn't do the TMNT costumes better, but I guess like if you want, you have to sacrifice for the movement.
Well,
If you
yeah,
wanna do
you're
the
gonna,
crazy
you're gonna
ninja
have
moves.
you're gonna have a costume is going to be used once,
Yeah.
and then a costume is going to be used 365 days a year.
True.
And
Yeah,
I think
you're gonna-
Saban had his money tied up in Power Rangers at the time, so I don't think he could have like dedicated so much to the TNT.
Well, In Space is supposed to be the last season.
It was supposed to be last season, yeah.
And so they were going all in. Like they cut the budget for it too. So they were really, really struggling for money on that one.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's kind of impressive, like what they actually eked out.
Mhm.
But yeah, sad to say, the Power Rangers bits definitely are far stronger than the TMNT bits.
Oh yeah.
Though I do
Yeah.
appreciate, like, because I was watching off the DVD, and so it's like 2 bonus episodes, and I like the first one is almost no TMNT. So I do appreciate, like, on a TMNT DVD, they basically like completely hoodwink you.
Oh,
'Cause it's-
damn. I need my money
Like-
back. Yeah. But yeah, that's it was interesting. Yeah, I had to watch the 2 episodes because the first episode kind of links the turtles into it, and then the second episode
yeah,
has
it
them in
gives
it.
the crucial backstory.
The crucial
The
backstory.
crucial
yeah.
35 seconds of backstory. Yeah.
But overall, like now that I watch it, it's kind of cringy. But at the same time, I'm glad it was a thing because
I watched it loud and proud in my in my lunch room in my office. I'm in the break room. Like people walked in, like, "You watching Power Rangers?" I'm like, "Damn right I am."
yeah.
Do you have a desire to go back to watch the full Next Mutation season?
Kind of now. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that today. I was like, man, I need to go back and watch that Next Mutation.
Because I've always wondered, like, if in the Power Rangers community, if it is considered, like, somewhat a Power Rangers
Taboo.
show and embraced at all.
I don't know about turtles, but
Just because, like, the Saban love strong enough where you can envelop
No,
in
it's
the
not.
turtles?
Most people in the Power Rangers community hate Saban.
yeah, a lot of people hate them.
Like there's a
they
large
like
chunk of the
Disney
community.
Power Rangers more.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Most people is RPM.
Oh, yeah.
And Jungle
Darker
Fury.
season. But
But no. Well, most people just don't like Saban to begin with.
I think that they grew to the turtles now that they have been written into like a more adult themed comic series. Well, yeah, comics because there's 2 parts now to it.
Yeah, well, because of the introduction of TMNT in the comics,
Yes.
I feel like it's going to turn around a lot of MMPR fans who didn't really like Turtles to begin with, but now we're kind of growing on them.
Yeah.
And they're going to go back and rewatch. I don't think they're ever going to rewatch the Next Mutation, but they're going to go back and rewatch the 2013, the 2012,
Right.
those seasons, which are considered pretty good for the most part. They're pretty solid.
Yeah,
Like,
they're-
fun,
yeah.
serious, fun little romps.
Yeah.
And it might get them to go back and watch other stuff.
Okay.
But I doubt it.
Did you? So when you watched it as a kid, did you watch Power Rangers as well?
Yeah, I did. And it's strange because, like, you kind of, because, like, I watched it all the time, but for some reason, and you can kind of see where, like, for whatever reason, some things trigger for you or some things don't. Where, like, I was never really interested in the toys, and I didn't really become, like, a lifelong fan. But yeah, I definitely watch Power Rangers, and even like watching this again, it's like, oh yeah, like I know that character. I remember that lady.
Yes.
After this episode, I was like, no, I do need an Ecliptor figure. God help
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And then you're on Amazon, and I was like on Instagram, I was showing you like.
Oh yeah. What I got? I got it right here. A red Ecliptor. Oh.
Yeah.
Fancy.
That's
Yeah.
a cool. Though I think the black design is really good.
I like the
The
black
black and
design
green,
better.
the black and
yeah.
green is fantastic. Yeah.
Oh,
There's a crazy itch that like, the
Yeah.
Power Rangers designs like, and that's where like as a collector, I have to like hold back. It's like, okay, like Cody, you don't need, and God help me, like thank God there's no Quantron figures.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
my
I would have literally ordered one today.
Yeah, I was telling you, it's like that's a dark hole. Don't go down it.
It's easy to start doing meth. Wait, what?
What?
It's a fine line. I'm telling you, like that's why like I narrow my collection down.
Mm-hmm.
Even though like if it was up to me, I'd see cool shit and buy it all the time.
Oh, dude.
Because like just watching a show like this, even like as cheesy as the Next Mutation is, like my brain's like, you need to figure, you need it, you saw it, you
Yeah.
need it.
Yeah. Oh, that's my life. Yeah. Yeah, I'll see that. They'll show like a little tease of something. I'm like, well, now I gotta get it. Damn.
Like I saw the Blue Beetle trailer today, and I was like, if they do a figure that I need it real bad.
They have Funkos of the Blue Beetle already out. They just dropped them. I think was it Monday at GameStop.
I'm going to GameStop. It looks like it.
It's three figures of Blue Beetle.
3 different Blue Beetles.
3 different ones. Yeah.
That's a good
What?
Blue Beetle design.
I like that one.
It's solid. I like it quite
It gives
a
me
bit.
Power Ranger vibes.
It really does. I mean, he basically
Power-
is like, he's
Yeah.
a Power Ranger and everything.
It
But
reminds me of the 2017 suits. Makes any sense?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, where like just he does
2017
the
movie
morph.
suits.
It just kind of takes over his body, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like a split between Venom and 2017 Power Ranger suits.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
Blue Beetle's kind of like a dark story when you get into it.
Yeah. Oh, it's super dark. Him and Booster Gold. Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
You know Booster Gold's story?
I've never read much Booster Gold. It's always the barrier of like corniness just seems too off for me.
It's so dark. Okay, so Booster Gold, he time travel powers, right? And so he has to like he has to like save people, right? And so everyone thinks he's a joke because he always has to reset the timeline, so whatever happens doesn't happen again.
Oh.
And so, like, he's with Batman at one point, and like him and Batman have to go and do all this crazy stuff to, make sure the timeline's correct. And Batman's like, "I finally understand that you're not a joke." And he's like, "Well, thanks." And then he resets the timeline, and Batman never said that.
Oh,
And
damn.
so they just like he's just a joke to him. He does all this emotional stuff with Batman. He's like, "Oh, I'm just a joke. It's okay. You can call me a joke all you want."
That
and I'm
is
like,
jacked
damn,
up.
that is so depressing.
Damn.
The sad clown. Damn.
Yeah. How they do
But him and-
Batman like that? Nah,
No, I would
you
like
don't
to
mess
see,
with the Batmans.
Things
like
have
to
gotten dark
see-
when Batman stops being an asshole to everybody,
Yeah,
and he's
right.
like,
Yeah.
I want to
Oh,
see. I
no.
want to see this Peacemaker with this Blue Beetle. I want to see that. John
You
Cena's
what?
Peacemaker. Because in the comics, Peacemaker is kind of a role model, not role model, like a teacher for Blue Beetle at one point.
Well,
So
we have
I
to have
would
a
love to
crossover.
see this. I would love to see this because you're getting, John Cena's, Peacemaker, who's just going through all his own emotional trauma shit, and then he's gonna like train this new kid, or at least like be cool with this new kid who's learning about his own powers. That would be kind of cool. Not gonna lie to you. Like, I kind of want to see it because, well, John Cena really won me over with Peacemaker. Like, I was like, oh, this is gonna be so stupid. John Cena. Oh no. Then I watched the Suicide Squad movie. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
All right, you got
Yeah.
that. Okay. And then I watched the Peacemaker show, and I'm like, all right, John Cena. All right, I understand. I get it now. I understand.
Yeah. He got me
All
into
right.
Peacemaker. He was like, "You got to watch this show called Peacemaker." I was like, "Shut up, Jim. You don't know what you're talking about." But hold that thought. I got to watch Peacemaker.
yeah, I've seen the movies, but I haven't watched the show yet.
I
I've seen
highly
clips
recommend
though.
it. You'll
and
like it.
does seem
Okay.
good.
It's really good. Yeah.
You can blow it through in like an afternoon. Well, not afternoon, but you can blow it through in a weekend.
I'm the
Yeah.
kind of watcher where I wait because everybody's like, "You got to watch it. You got to watch it." I'm the kind of person that like I'll give you an example. My friend was telling me to read The Count of Monte Cristo for like 10 years.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I never did it, and then one day I read it, and I went back to him like, "It was really good, man." And after 10 years, he was just like, I don't, so, like, I don't want to.
Oh.
It's his favorite book ever, but he's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna fucking talk about it because you took 10 goddamn
10
years."
years.
It is a fun book. Yeah, no, you're an
Oh my
asshole.
God.
Like it's a classic. Come on.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh man. Speaking of, okay, so I see the toys behind you, and I went and hung out with him at gym over the weekend, and we were at Walmart and we were at Target, and we saw the new toys, and I told him how the plastic sprues are actually weapon racks when you take them all off.
Mhm.
I don't know if you had one.
Yeah, I
No.
can show you.
We're not a visual podcast.
And we're gonna do it.
You can hear, audience. You can hear the crinkling plastic.
The 15 people who listen to our show like religiously just cringe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like crinkling plastic. Ah, why?
Twinkling.
So look. So the figures, they come attached to like the unpainted plastic, like, superstructure, and you take it off, but you can see like has a stand on it. So it's meant, and it doesn't work well. I'll say that right from the jump. But theoretically, it is like a weapon rack.
Okay.
Hold them.
Well,
So I saw the trailer for the movie, and the new TMNT movie, and I'm looking forward to this like entirely.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a smash hit personally.
It just looks fun.
yeah.
isn't it produced by like Seth Rogen or something like that?
Yeah,
Yep.
I believe he's the executive producer, and it's not just like he's actually like truly
He's
involved in
voicing.
it. It's not like he's not just like paid to be an executive producer.
Yeah.
He's part of it. He has his fingers in it, and
Okay.
honestly,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. It was just because like most of the stuff he makes is pretty fun. If you watch American Pickle, it's
Oh,
really
God,
good.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's really good. And he was like the guy behind the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, all right, you win. I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
stuff you want to
I think
make.
he's
Yeah.
super talented. So I feel like this one
He got off on a rock like
is
his
gonna be a home run.
Yeah.
he got off on a rocky start with just like the the Family Guy made fun of him, and like he really got into the groove and like really took off, just like Dave Bautista. Like
Oh, man.
he liked acting. Like he was a wrestler and he did Guardians 1. He's like, I like acting. Took some acting classes, got into a lot better roles.
Yeah, and he
And,
picks like he's really good at picking roles.
Oh my god, did you see 2049? Right.
Dude, I was so
Yeah.
mad. So
Okay,
mad.
that whole intro like 10-minute scene of him like, oh my god, that's beautiful, right? There's another one that goes along with it of him like how he gets caught, like why they figure out who he is, and it's amazing. It's like 12 minutes of Dave Bautista like being amazing as an actor, and I'm like, why was this in the movie? It should have been the movie. It should have been in the movie. And it was really good. I highly recommend it. It's Blade Runner Black Knight or something like that.
No.
It's a short for 2049. I just recommend it.
Interesting. Yeah, he's done good. Even his like comedic work. There's one. What's the movie? He's like, it's with like Kumail Nanjiani. I can't remember what it was.
There's that one where he's with the little girl.
Yeah, he has like a daughter.
Yeah, my bodyguard or something like that. Or
Yeah.
Me and my bodyguard or something like that. He was actually really funny. Like he was
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, he's picked really good stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if all his movies have been super great, but
Well, have you
for-
seen it? Did you
for,
watch
like,
him in Dune?
yeah, Dune is really good.
It's great in Dune.
Love me some Dune. But yeah, he's picked well, and that's saying something for a lot. Like when you go from like a wrestling star, I'm sure the temptation is to be like, sure, I'll take. You give me any movie and I'll be in it. But he's
Did you
been
see him
very
in,
choosy.
Glass Onion.
Glass Onion was really good.
Yeah, he was great. Glass Onion.
I think
Oh,
he
it
picked
just-
the perfect role for Drax, but he said after the third one that he wasn't coming back for.
He didn't want
play
to come back
Drax.
for. Well, because they didn't want him wearing a shirt. They're like, he's like, can I wear a shirt? Like, you know how hard it is to say this buff all the time.
Well, yeah, and because like
I w-
the makeup process is hell,
too.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it was
Yeah.
like 7 hours almost every day.
And he's like, can I just not do this for a little bit?
And
Yeah,
apparently he
right.
wasn't seeing eye to eye with like the directors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
But it happens. It happens.
It was
Oh,
on a
man.
long tangent about like other things.
Yeah.
No.
So
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to this movie. I'm really looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
want to see it because
I'm
it just
looking
looks
forward
fun.
to the Funko Pops because I find them, but it looks like people destroy the boxes when I find them, so I can't.
That's what I
find
don't understand about Funkos, because Funkos aren't sealed, so it's literally
Yeah,
in box, out of box. Funko gives you the best of both worlds. 'Cause you can
exactly.
jam them back in at any time.
Like how I when I was younger, I could tell they've been out of the box. I'm like, how? There's no seal.
Yeah, how?
Yeah,
Like,
people are silly.
don't-
Like, did you open the Funko? And it's like, it's sure.
It's already
like,
open.
Yeah, it's not.
Like,
There's
yeah,
no ties.
totally opened it. Mhm,
Yeah. But I find them. I'm like, I want to buy the whole set because they're $11 each. I can't complain. But then, like, you see, like, somebody scratched the face out or, like, they destroyed the artwork on the box. I'm like, well, dang it.
No, some
Yeah.
of these people are
But I
just,
find everything else.
why? I just want to know why. Like, why
I
are
have
they
no
being
idea.
like that, man? Well, there's no reason to.
Though
Not
I
at
do
all.
like those little 3-packs, the glow-in-the-dark 3-packs.
Those are cool. Those are cool.
I like those, yeah.
Those are really. They've done a great line, so it's a good time to be a Turtles fan. Do you guys think Power Rangers? Do you think we'll see another Power Ranger?
After this season, it's done.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Really, no
And so-
more Rangers. That's so weird. I mean, because there's still like tons of figures, right? So I would imagine the
yeah.
property's doing great.
The
Yeah.
sales are not very good. Like,
Really?
You
Yeah.
know, compared to, like, G.I. Joe.
Because they don't
Something like
have
that.
any Quantrons out.
That's
Exactly.
what it is. That's
Whatever's
When you have a property that's gone on so long,
mhm.
like how on the one hand you've managed to create a property that's so beloved that it's lasting decades and
Yes.
like multiple generations,
Yeah.
but also like how do you keep that going consistently? Because TMNT's had its own like lulls or periods where like because like Rise They did the Rise cartoon and figures,
Yes.
and those,
Bombed.
yeah, did not do well at all. And I think it's partly because they just get lazy and incompetent, and they just don't. They stop giving a shit.
Maybe they just don't like. Maybe they let good writers and some people go.
Yeah, that's it.
And
Yeah,
they,
though I
they
did
keep around
love the
cheap
Rise
ones.
cartoon, but I think I don't know for the turtle fan base, the old
Yeah,
what was
heads
that one?
mainly, it did not catch on.
What
Yeah.
was that one?
I know-
That's the one where they're
I
all
know
like,
for like Power Ranger stuff, like people voice their opinion. They're like, "Hey, we want these foot soldiers, or we want these," and it's like, we'll give you a single release Tango Warrior. Okay, cool.
Oh.
It's a beautiful figure. And then like, oh yeah, by the way, we're gonna release a double pack Tango Warrior of 2 different other colors. Like, we don't need that. We want, like you said, we want
Rise
Quantrons.
got a movie out of it.
We want the bat figures from your Lightspeed Rescue and stuff like that.
Have they done? Because I see a lot of like they're Marvel or like GI Joe like crowdfunding. Do they do Power Rangers crowdfunding stuff?
No, not yet. They've got to at some point because like they've got to jump on the wagon with like Marvel and GI Joe and Star Wars.
No, they're not going to.
don't think they
I don't
will.
see them doing it for a long time. Like it's going to take 5 years, like minimum 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
'cause the downside
if you
is,
got
like,
Lightning
if the-
collection.
If the crowdfunding isn't successful, it's like the kiss of death. Because then
Yeah. I mean, if you see
you might
with
as well
Star
just
Wars,
like make a giant ad saying like nobody wants this shit, and so we're never gonna make it ever.
yeah,
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, Star Wars had back-to-back fails, and like now their line is dying with like Black Series and stuff. Well, I feel it's dying. I don't think the fans say that though, but
Yeah. You
Yeah.
can't ever trust the fans. You
I don't know.
can't.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see non-Hasbro companies take these properties. and
Like
Oh,
Super
yeah.
7 does really good jobs with stuff, man. I
Yeah.
love their stuff.
I don't
It's
know what
fun.
happened with Super
Well,
7, but they had to drop the Power Ranger line.
They didn't have orders for Wave
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, Super
I
7. I
think-
love Super 7, though I do think they're too pricey.
I think MMPR, like it's on its lull right now. Like they've oversaturated the market with it.
Oh, definitely.
So it's gonna be a moment before we see it like really pick back up. So if you have Lightning Collection figures, hold on to them
Definitely.
for a little bit, and then they're gonna be exceptionally pricey here in like 4 years. Like I bet you, if Hasbro stops making it, the Lightning Collection figures are gonna go through the roof.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah. So just be aware. Keep on your old stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
It's interesting.
Especially season 1 and Zeo and in space. Like those are the big ones in Turbo. But yeah, the rest of them I don't know. But those are the big ones: MMPR, Turbo, and Zeo and in space.
They're good designs, though. They're epic
Yeah, they're-
figures.
Oh, definitely.
They're pretty good figures, but not almost $30. Jesus, I'm not paying
No.
$30
Yeah.
for that shit.
Yeah, see, and that's how I feel about like Super 7. I mean, I think Super 7, and it's kind of unfortunate with Power Rangers, is I don't think they do well like human head sculpts.
Oh
Um,
no, they
yeah.
did not do well. At
They
all.
they really
But they're
shine
rep-
when you have like fun designs, or so that's why like
Like-
they can do like the monsters, they can do like
I
the
have,
robots.
I have Homer and Mo back there, and they're great. I love them.
Yeah,
They're super fun. And then I have the T-Rex Zord, and it's pretty much perfect.
yeah. When you give them like a fun design to work with, they nail it, but they just
Yeah.
they can't do a human face
Yeah.
or
Look at this.
generally like a human
the ball
character.
tail, like the tail all has balls in it.
Ball
So you can do
joints.
whatever ball joints, where you can do whatever you want with the ball joints. It's amazing.
Yeah, if
I
Super
really-
7 if they could bring their prices down to like 40 tops, I think they'd
Well,
really
what you
go.
can do is wait for them to go on sale on like Big Bad Toy Store and use our discount code Z2H Pod and get the free shipping. It's
Yeah.
worth it.
That's the way to do. Yeah, because I don't have any qualms buying Super 7 full price. I have a number of like pre-orders of theirs, but it's definitely the kind of thing where people are like, that's not worth $60, and you're like,
Oh,
nope,
yeah.
it. But I bought it.
yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's my life. Like the Power Lance is not. It's like the Power Lance is not worth $100 and something. I'm like, well, there I am buying it.
Yeah, I got their turtle van for 500. So,
Oh,
Jesus, that's like
Jesus.
selling
Oh
a
my
kidney.
god.
but look, hear me out. I did it. You could
It's-
do a payment plan, so stretched over the course of a year, $50 at a time. Did I spend $500? I don't know. It's paid off. It's paid off now.
And you got a
It
sweet
goes-
turtle van coming.
It goes with so many figures, right? There's so many figures it goes with. Like it's completely versatile.
I mean, it's like 2 feet long, so I can store figures in there at the very
Oh,
least.
look at
At
you.
least it's like essentially it's a box.
Yeah.
It's a really fancy box.
Hey, so you know how there's that company, it's called Eagle Moss, but they don't do it anymore, where they would send you parts to build an Ecto 1?
Like kind of like a Build-A-Figure style, or it's like a model kit?
Yeah, it's like a model kit, and it actually has like wiring, and your dash lights up, the sirens work, lights work. Now, would you apply for that if it was for like a turtle van, like a full functioning turtle van?
And so they send it to you like piecemeal, or how did it work?
Yeah, they do button by month. Every month they'll send you a piece to it.
That actually does sound kind of cool.
And
I'd
like,
probably do that.
Yeah, I don't remember how much like overall. I think it was like, $60, $70 for like a couple months, and then they
It's
would
like a
send
monthly
you,
like science kit kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you have just like half the
half-assed Ecto 1. Yeah.
It'd be cool if you have like if they did it in such a way where you have exactly like half the car.
Yeah.
Like up to the front doors, that's all you got.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But apparently a company has bought the rights to it and has started producing the rest of the parts for the car.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I think the only pitfall is like the subscription service part where it's like, what do you do if it bottoms out halfway through?
That's the biggest like risk, yeah. Because now, like, I don't know if you noticed, but today's time, you never know about a company now. So like, tomorrow we could find out that Hasbro's like shutting down tomorrow.
Well, it's like when, do you remember, I don't know if you guys are keyed into like Mondo, when, what was it, like Funko
yes.
bought Mondo, and there was all that, like, is Mondo dead now, or?
Yeah.
and
Doesn't
everyone was
Mondo
just-
actually have like their own Funkos in the Funko headquarters now? Like the like Mondo produced ones?
Probably, yeah. I mean, because they seem to survive just fine, because like they got bought up, and there was all these cuts, and people were like, oh, there goes Mondo, or whatever,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you never know.
I listened to a podcast with them, like some guys that were like toy designers and producers for Mondo, and they were kind of talking about how they're actually like producing toys now under the Mondo name, and then they have like their own little Funkos inside the headquarters.
That's cool.
It's
That's fun.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mondo. They do fun stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting. I like it. Like a lot of these companies now are making like really interesting toys.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
probably the best time to be a toy fan as an adult.
Honestly, it's the best time to be a low income kid as an adult.
True. Yeah, and that's the ironic part, like, because like I don't think kids can't really afford the toys that are out there now because they're making them for adults.
Yeah, that's why I'll snatch a toy out of a kid's hands like adult money here, buddy.
Don't you tempt me. I'll do it. Like for at Christmas time, Billy and I we met up at Target, and like we're walking through the aisles. We see the Lightning collection, and this lady's like, I don't know if what's his name's gonna like this toy, and then I can snatch off the shelf. She's like, well, never mind.
that was a real thing.
Yeah,
it was for real.
For this
It was
lady, she was like, he likes Power Ranger toys, and then we literally take the 4 off the shelf because he was buying all 4, and she goes, well, apparently not.
Was there ever like a urge to like give her one, or it was just
No.
like no?
Oh no, we dipped.
No, she was big. She was being completely indecisive. I'm
Yeah.
done with that nonsense.
Yeah,
If you're going to toys, like you go to toy aisle, go exactly where you need to go, get the toy you need, and leave.
I grabbed
funny.
Jim by his shirt collar. I was like, we gotta go now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't really necessarily browse because browsing's dangerous. That's where I start. You're tempted to buy shit. Like
Yes, yeah, for real.
Like,
that's where, like,
I know
yeah, because there's
exactly
been
what I
many
need.
times I've eyed Power Rangers figures, and it's like that's cool as hell. But I know, like, even though I'm not up to date on the lore or the shows, you buy one, and you're like, well, I got to get a second one to go with
Yeah.
it. Oh, might as
Now-
well complete the team. And before you
Yep.
know it, you're like 13 figures deep, and you're like, I don't
Yep.
even really like Power Rangers, but I got a whole collection.
See, I was just about to say that. You nailed it on the head. Is like, see, with Power Rangers toys, you have to buy, like, there's not just one. There's like 6 to 7 per team. And you buy one, you're like, well, damn, I got to complete the team now.
Yeah, the weapons combined. So like, I got to do
Exactly.
the goddamn super blaster.
Yeah, and it's like there's a specific crossover. Well, now I got this ranger and this ranger that are in a crossover. I got to complete both teams, And now, but that's why I think McFarlane does so well, is because nothing in the McFarlane line connects to each other. So you can just buy whatever you want. You don't have to collect
That's
the whole
true.
wave.
And generally, if they do a wave with a Build-A-Figure, that Build-A-Figure belongs with that wave.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that's what I dislike most about like Hasbro. They'll do their Build-A-Figures,
Mhm.
and it's like to get you want like take it for like Indiana Jones, like you want to build the Ark, but you're like, oh, you got to get this
Oh.
figure, you got to get this figure. With McFarlane, I like that he's like, okay, it's 5 figures. You get the Teen Titans, and then you get you get
Yeah.
you get Beast Boy at the end of it, and so that
Mhm.
now you have like a set that goes together instead of like now I just have all this random shit in this
Yeah.
one guy.
Now, the one thing I don't like it with Hasbro's Build-A-Figure is like they basically pit it around movies now. Well, recently it's about movies.
Yeah,
Like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It was a whole wave of that, and the Build-A-Figure was a dog, and people were upset. It was like, it couldn't have been anything else.
Well,
know.
that was a good dog.
It couldn't have been the high evolutionary or something,
yeah.
Oh,
Or I
man.
generally feel like Build-A-Figures should be like the larger figures. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
give me a giant
No, what they
figure.
used to do is they used to do the Marvel ones, and the Build-A-Figures was like Venom was huge, or Thanos is massive.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they used to do it.
They did that with the Ant-Man one, Quantumanium.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Well,
build
they-
like a
the
giant
Build-A-Fig-
Ant-Man.
Yeah, it was a giant, the daughter of Ant-Man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Cassie,
it was a giant
whatever.
giant Cassie, yeah.
Makes sense.
Huh.
Does Power Rangers do Build-A-Figures or?
Only in the Legacy line. They haven't done
Yeah.
it in the Lightning collection.
Yeah, you could get Megazords with the Legacy line. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, see that makes sense. That's thematically appropriate.
Yeah, so like and they would so the Dino Thunder Megazord would be part of the Dino Thunder team. So
Yes.
you had to buy the entire Dino Thunder team to
Yeah.
get the Dino Thunder
Sword.
Megazord.
That's
It
the way
worked
to
out
do
pretty
it,
well.
I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the legacy figures are pretty okay. Like they were pretty solid, and they
Yeah.
weren't overpriced either. They were about $20.
Yeah. But
They're pretty good.
they're trying to do a Build-A-Figure right now with the power weapons, but I don't know how they're going to finish this off. Like, because you got 2 left, the Power Bow and the Power Axe, and those are the 2 largest items in this Build-A-Figure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They might have to do a HasLab for one of them or something.
Ooh, that'd be dirty.
Then you
A
HasLab.
HasLab
If
to
it doesn't
complete
get,
a Build-A-Figure.
And it fails. Oh, God, no.
Oh, that would just be wrong on so many
If
levels.
it,
and
if
then
it failed, I'd have to go outside and cut a tree limb down and paint it black and be like, here's my Power Axe.
How do you both generally feel about like the HasLab crowdfunding kind of stuff?
Okay. I like them, especially the G.I. Joes. The G.I. Joes have been phenomenal. Like, they
Yeah.
had the Sky Striker. Now they've got the Hiss Tank. Now they got the Dragonfly. I really would love them.
Yeah, the GI Joe ones do seem to have been more
Yeah.
well received because
Yeah.
I've seen like the Spirit of Vengeance. Obviously
Oh, man.
that failed.
I rather put my money in technology.
So they said that the figures that came with the tiers for the Engine of Vengeance weren't even connected to that Ghost Rider.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do think
Yeah.
they'd be smarter if they revealed everything. Do they already do that where like
Well, they do
all
by
the tiers up
tier.
front, or they do it like
Nah.
once you unlock this tier they tell you?
Yeah, that once you unlock it, they tell you.
Yeah, I think they should just tell you everything and be like,
I
look,
think that would be a better
if you
idea.
get to 3 tier, you get this one because then you
Yeah.
can know going into it.
You can get other people to invest into it. Be like, hey, you should invest in this because it's stuff you get in tier 1,
Yeah,
tier 2.
I
tier
usually
3.
find out through Yes Have Some. That's how I usually find out about these tiers.
Yeah.
'Cause they're pretty on top of it.
Yeah,
Super
I
limited.
think like the mystery of it. I feel like it'd be an easier sale if you knew up front, like
Yes.
as long as we get this many backdoors, you'll get all of it. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
like you're still you're still paying the full price either way. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
it's
I don't like how they do like the early bird specials. Like if so many people do it in like a week, well, you'll get an exclusive figure. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I don't. That's too much pressure on people.
That's some
People
bull.
live paycheck to paycheck now, guys.
Yeah, I hate that kind of stuff. Like that's what they do with games right now too. Like if you buy this game pre-release, you get extra stuff. I'm like, why don't you just sell the regular stuff?
Yeah, for sure. And I do think I don't know. The bigger problem I have, like when you have like a giant corporation doing like crowdfunding, It's like you guys should be smart enough to know, like, just have like a number you need to hit, and then just like, tell people like, hey, we're gonna make 2,000 of these, and that's it.
Oh,
And
I
just
mean,
like
that's
put
what
that out.
that's kind of what Funko does. Like they'll release like an image and like this Funko's only gonna get like 15,000 releases, so you might want to get yours when it drops.
I don't know. I'm kind of angry with Funko though, because they dropped some awesome, or I don't know if they have. I think maybe it was today or tomorrow. It's like Stranger Things D&D themed stuff, where they're like as their
Oh,
characters, and
I
it's
saw
the
that.
it's the NFT shit. So I was like, and I've never like
Oh my
dabbled into
god.
that. So I'm like,
Yep.
hey, like, I'm just like, I just want to buy this cool ass, like Will the Wizard Funko,
I want
Will
the
the
physical
Wise.
copy.
Like, how do I buy that? And I was asking like a friend of mine, Crazy Possum, my community. It's like, oh yeah, it's the NFT. You have to buy like the NFT. If you're lucky, you'll win a chance to get the actual Funko. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Nope.
come the on.
Let me paraphrase this. No. No. No.
The
no.
NFT
Okay.
just in general is just so confusing because like they did the NFT Megazord for Power Rangers. and
The Black Zap one.
The
yeah.
amount of people that did not know how to redeem their coin, their digital coin, was ridiculous. Like there was like 2,000-3,000 people that missed out, that spent that money and missed out on it.
Because it's like,
they
is there
made
like
that
a
money.
limited window to redeem the coin?
Yeah, there was limited, and it was just so confusing because there was like 10 steps of how to do it.
I'm sure that's by design. It's like a rebate program where they know
Yes.
like.
And then they went on and resold the Zap Megazords that didn't like get redeemed full price.
Yeah, then they
That's
sold what didn't. Like a year later, they sold it, like the unredeemed ones, and I was like, God, you should never have done the. You never.
Bullshit.
You should never.
So
have
I
done it in
guess
the first place.
credit to Funko. It's like I feel like they're the only company that's still doing NFTs, and they're not getting blasted into space for it. So I don't know
For
what the
real.
hell they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Maybe
feel like-
they. I think they just released so much stuff that you're not gonna notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like anytime like a video game company tried to be like, "Hey, we're doing NFT shit," everyone was like, "No, you're not," and they were like, "Actually, you're right, we're not."
Like, sorry guys, we thought it was a cool
Yeah.
idea for 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Somehow Funko's getting away with it.
Yeah, well, Funko has a lot of goodwill. To be fair with you, they have a lot of goodwill behind them, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you. That reminds me, I gotta hunt down the Bob Burgers Funko set.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's gonna be hard
Those
to
are
do.
good ones.
Yeah, I really, really, really want them because they are adorable. Like Bob.
They just released a bunch of new Demon Slayer Funkos, and I'm like, well, god dang it, you just can't leave my wallet alone.
Yeah, that's another rabbit hole I have to stop myself from going down. Like,
Oh yeah.
the TMNT
Funkos
Power
are-
Ranger Funkos, those were so damn cool.
Those were really hard to get a hold of because you were trying to fight bots, like pre-ordering.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I hate too. They don't have any Capacha set up for pre-orders, so bots can come in, swoop in, and just buy them all in.
Yep.
Yep. You
That's
can
what
find
I'm
it on eBay
fearing.
afterwards.
Oh yeah, double
4 or 3
price.
times. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
No
Okay.
thanks. No thanks.
Yeah, no Funko. I don't know, man. Like we're at this point now where like, okay, cool. Like I'm at this point now where I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like that'd be cool to have, but I don't really want it because it's going to sort of pain in the ass to get.
Yeah.
Are those not Funkos behind you? Are those Star Wars Funkos?
Oh yeah, no, they were easy to get. I got those at freaking Target.
Yeah.
Like all those like special release ones.
Yeah.
Like, they're cool, but I don't.
Oh yeah,
I
like
don't- I
Funko
don't want them.
exclusive ones. Yeah. Good luck.
As collectors, do you guys, does it like,
He's a collector over there. I'm just enjoying the ride.
do you enjoy having something knowing that it's like limited? So like,
Yes.
like you're one of 100 that can have it.
Oh.
Do you prefer
I've
it to be
never-
that way, or would you like, like, because me personally, like I just want something for myself. I don't care anybody else have. So if they make 1 million of them and I have one of 1 million, totally fine with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can say that. Yeah, I like that. And then like you said, if it's like one of 100, hey, that'd be cool knowing that I've got one of only 100 in existence. Like I'm really proud of this one. Like I picked this one up in Target. It's a Target exclusive. They'll never make it again. So like knowing that I have a sealed one is like pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
Yeah. Oh man. That's cool. Turtle power. Was it a Turtlfied?
Certified. That's like the
Yeah,
Mutant
so
Mayhem catchphrase, really, like the one that actually stuck. He brought it in.
Oh my god, that's gonna be fun. I like where this is going with it.
The turtle movie.
Yeah, this
It's
is fun.
adorable. I want to watch it. I don't care. I want to watch it. It's super cute.
Yeah, I think it'll
I
be
know,
good. I don't. Yeah, because I don't know about Power Rangers fan. Are there a lot of like old crappy Power Rangers fans where they're like Power
There's a lot
Rangers
of
has
ga-
gone, Power Rangers has gone woke.
The
No, I would say. Well, I think we got more gatekeepers than anything.
Yeah, that's we got a lot more gatekeepers. Yeah. Then
Yeah.
we have a very clear divide right now of people who meh about JDF and people who are like he's the savior.
Yeah.
And so that's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really about it.
Do you ever so the Power Ranger fans? They're really sticklers on people selling figures. I don't know if you ever dealt with that.
like the resellers.
The resellers, yeah. Like if you sell it at too high, like if you sell it at like what the PPG would be, you're a scalper. But if you sell it too low, then you're a scammer. There's like no middle ground with the Power Ranger groups.
Yeah, I mean, I think Turtles groups are pretty much the same. You
think
see a
most
lot of
things
that
like that.
where I think where people do wrong is, and I assume they do it in Power Rangers groups too, though, like, because like a new figure will come out, everybody wants it, and so you do the thing where it's like everybody's posting their pictures in stores, so now you can go out to search, right? And so what'll happen is you'll have that picture from the guy who's like, while I was there, I decided to help out the community, and I bought 7 of them.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm willing to sell it to you folks for a decent price. And that's where it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you, man. Just like, if you're going to do that, like, because that's like obviously bullshit, right? Like, it's one thing, like, if you're at the store, I'm like, hey, can you buy me one? That's one thing,
Yeah.
right? If you're preemptively like buying out the whole shelf and be like, I want to help the community, so I'm going to scalp it to you. I think it'd be better off if people were like, hey, I'm trying to make a buck, so I bought a shit ton of these. If you
Yeah,
want to
just
buy them, I'm going to mark them up. So at least be
Yeah.
honest about it.
Yeah.
Like I know what Billy does. Billy will go into, he'll buy 2 or 3 of the figures. Like, hey, give me the price I paid for it. Don't even worry about shipping. I'll handle shipping.
Yeah.
Just,
I
if
normally
you need
pay
it,
for
I
shipping.
got it.
It's like $13 for shipping. I ain't tripping about that, and it helps
Yeah.
somebody else out that maybe can't get to a store.
Yeah,
Hey.
There's someone like a rural area or
See,
someone
like, I don't mind, like,
especially middle of nowhere.
throwing in the shipping cost, I think is fine, charging for that. But yeah, I'll see people they'll do. It's like, it's like double the price, and they're like,
I
well,
bought this for $12. I'm gonna sell it to you for $45.
I have to be able to like make my money back, but I'm trying to help you. And it's like, just leave out the part where you're trying to help me and just say you're trying to make. If you tell me like, hey, I'm trying to make $20 off of this figure, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like I get it,
Okay.
whatever.
You're being honest. I get it. I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. I also hate how like they'll tie like emotional value to like a specific character. Like
Oh my
what was
God,
it?
yeah.
Like unfortunately when Tommy passed away, all the Tommy figures like just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
The Dragon Dagger went up to almost like what $300 for like almost
Yeah.
2 whole weeks.
The Draken V3 went almost like
Oh my-
$300. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like that when they tie like emotional value or like when people sell a car, $7,000. It's on fire.
But my grandma's inside, so it's
I feel like it's a steal for you.
Steal. My loss is your gain.
for sure. But yeah, I think that kind of stuff goes on I think that's just like toy 101 at this point.
Yeah, I think that's just pretty much
It
given.
kind of makes me sad to be like a collector and stuff when that shit's happening all the time.
So-
And the thing is, it doesn't get any better. It doesn't. And it just it's just irritating and frustrating.
Yeah.
You're like, I want to get this really cool figure, and like they scalp the crap out of you. And you're like, okay, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why
It's just-
I try to push myself to get out and try and find them in store or something like that because I
Well,
know
the gas is cheaper than dealing with that nonsense.
because I know the secondary market is very brutal for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely like a unending struggle. Because I know like some companies they'll proudly say like they go after like eBay listings of like pre-orders and stuff. Or
Oh yes, I've seen that so many times on eBay.
yeah, where it's like
you're
you're
buying their
buying
pre-order.
yeah,
You're buying their pre-order. Yeah.
and they'll send it to you as soon as it comes in. It's
I
like,
know that was
whatever.
a big thing during COVID times. That was a
Yeah,
really
for
big
sure.
thing.
To be fair, COVID was a weird time.
I
Oh my
hated
goodness.
that. The shipping, it messed up the shipping so bad.
But gas prices was like 98 cents.
Oh, God, driving back then was so good. Like I have a
Oh, my
nephew.
God.
He's never learned to drive. Like he just like put it
Oh.
off too long. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, you
Anyone.
yeah, like you barely ever seen one. God, that was so
Yeah.
good. Like when you could. I remember. I knew COVID had ended, where it was like 7 p.m. and I was driving, and you're like, wait a fucking minute, like there's traffic. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
COVID's over. We're
Yeah,
done.
like during COVID, I'd be driving downtown Austin on 35, and like I'm only like one of 10 cars on the road. What the hell?
God.
I drove cross country 3 times during COVID, and it was amazing.
It
No
was-
traffic whatsoever.
It was
Oh,
surreal.
it's beautiful.
It was very odd to see that the most. And our carbon levels were the lowest they've ever been.
That summer was beautiful. Oh my god, COVID summer, that was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think we hit a high of 102. The high of the summer was 102
Yeah.
here in Texas, and it was
Today was
it beautiful.
112. Oh my god.
Yeah, we're getting up here in Utah too. So welcome to hell, folks. Welcome to
Oh, yeah.
hell.
What part
for
of
real.
Utah you live in? You mind me asking?
Salt Lake City.
Oh, okay.
Ah, the
okay.
fun part of Utah.
Yeah, I mean,
the city in Utah where all the Mormons go to get drunk.
yeah. So I'm not in the city itself, but it's like there's like the city, which is very like
Yeah.
hippy dippy liberal,
City,
and then there's like the general like valley, which is still like the Salt Lake Valley. So
Oh.
Yeah, that's every city's like that. Like,
You
got the
it's as good as Utah gets without being like a rural
without being
weird
a Mormon.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. I did a lot. I worked for Google Fiber for a while, and so I was there when we moved into Salt Lake City, and so the people from Provo would call and complain about people in Salt Lake City, and I'm like, why? Like you're too far away. Like there's nothing. I don't understand how you think this works.
Oh man, Provo. Yeah, it's weird when you can travel like 5 minutes to a different city and you
Oh.
immediately know like this is a different
Yeah.
f***ing place.
Yeah. So like here in Austin, it's kind of like that. So we got Austin, but within Austin, you got your own little cities in Austin, and it's very odd. And it's like one of the only places I've known that's like that. And it's like, I
Yeah,
go
like-
down to San Antonio, and it's all San Antonio.
You
It's like-
cross one street and suddenly like our gas stations close at night, and you're like, the hell? Like
That is so. That's so true. That is so
Like,
true.
you're a street over. What are you doing?
Yeah, for real. That's so right. But yeah, isn't BYU in Provo?
Yeah, so it's very.
Well, I've heard some. There's some like really funny videos out of BYU. Like they'll ask people, they're like, "Hey, what's your drink of choice at a party?" And they'll be like, "Dr. Pepper."
Yeah,
Because,
I mean,
like,
yeah, that's like it's like Provo County. That's pretty much about as like, unless you get into like real like backwoods like total hick towns. That's about like the true Mormon sanctuary
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was like shocking to me because it's like real Mormon school and they're like really strict there.
So you
And,
know that
yeah,
the
like,
Mormons.
I was like, Dr. Pepper.
you know the Mormons built Las Vegas.
I believe it. I'm sure they own all like a ton of property
Almost,
there.
yeah. They
Corporate
almost
real
own
estate.
all of Vegas. Yeah. If you actually look at the street layout of Vegas, it looks a lot like Provo.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, because like there are a decent
all a
amount
grid,
of
man.
Mormons
It's all a grid.
in Vegas too.
Oh, wow.
I know a lot of friends with like family and stuff there. It's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
okay. Wow.
Reno, no, but Las Vegas, yeah.
In Vegas? I would totally go to Vegas, but I have to go like during the winter time or something.
No.
That's-
We're not going to Vegas. We're gonna go to New Orleans, the city of sin with a soul. We're going over
Why
there
am I going to go to a city that's sinking? Come on.
because the booze is better.
You got to go there while you
food's
still
way
can
better.
go there.
Okay,
Exactly.
actually, good point. I'm going to go get me some kite,
Beignets. No, we're gonna go get some beignets. We're gonna fatten you up. Come on,
some
let's go.
boudin. That's what I'm talking about.
We're gonna get some crawfish, and
That's what I'm talking about.
we're gonna do the whole 9 yards.
We're going to take Cody with us, even though he's screaming in a potato sack in our trunk.
There we go. I'm down.
Technically, we would
It's-
cross the state. Like, it would not be kidnapping. It would technically at this point be a federal crime. It goes from kidnapping to federal crime real quick.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Oh, man. Okay.
All right, let's wrap this up
All right.
before we incriminate ourselves even more.
Yeah, incriminating. All right. Well, thanks
Wait,
again for
first
listening.
a message from our lawyers.
Shut up.
You shut up. you have class action lawsuits against you? Do you want to sue someone? Are you an American? Do you want to be an American? Are you a Power Ranger? Do you want to have a legal battle with Hasbro? Do you have legal discussions with Disney? Don't call me. Call our lawyer at the Zero to Hero hotline. 555-553-5153. I forgot the number already, but call that number if you have any questions for the Zero to Hero lawyer. Muy gusto, Espanol. We're not your average family lawyer. Contact the law offices of Zero to Hero, and Zero to Hero.
All right. Well, thanks again listening. Thanks for listening to this episode of Zero to Hero, where we are featuring our guest, Cody, the TMNT guy, the one guy that fell down on his turtle shell, and I don't know if he picked himself back up.
I'm still.
Did you do the bender thing?
I'm still just laying on my back, flailing.
But thanks, Cody, for joining us tonight.
No, it's been a blast. It's been a blast.
I knew that when I saw your content and saw actually interacted with you, I was like, I really gotta get this guy.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure, fellas. It's been an honor.
If it wasn't so late, it'd be a lot better. No, this is my bedtime, guys.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, calm down.
Okay, but yeah, no, it was a pleasure to have you on, man. Where can people find you at?
Too Much New Toys. I think that's where you'll find me most places, like Twitter, TikTok. TikTok, it's Cody Too Much New Toys. That's generally where I'm more active. But yeah,
are you gonna be on Threads here soon?
I am on Threads. Are we past the ironic part of Threads where we're just like really using it, or is it still like a joke?
I still think it's still kind of a joke and like a spit in the face of Elon, but I'm pretty sure we're right on the precipice of it being just a regular thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're right on the.
Yeah, I am on
it.
Threads too. So you know.
Okay.
I just love Threads because it's like talk shit about Facebook, want to leave Facebook, then you go to an app that's owned by Facebook.
Yeah, you make a phone call on WhatsApp.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's encrypted. No, it's not.
All right. Well, if you like this episode, you can definitely follow us on our socials at Zeo to Hero, all one word, on every platform. And you can check out our website, zeotohero.com, and go to our merch store and buy a shirt and be the Vanna White.
Jacob did finally.
Vanna White of the group. Post a picture, and I'll share it and without you knowing. Sorry,
and
Jacob.
if you want to, you can jump on the Discord at discord.zeotohero.com. And if you want to share the podcast with your friends, use podcast.zeotohero.com. That takes them to their podcast player of choice.
All right. Well, everybody have a good night. See you. Listen to us on our. No, you can't see us because it's an audio only. Anyways, goodbye.
See you, folks.
Do you want to be a hero, but you're not? Do you want to be a Jiro or a Kojiro, but you can't because you're not Japanese? Have you considered Zeo to Hero? Remember, heroes come and go. Idiots are forever. Jimbalee!
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like I've seen those for sure. Those are rad. I love super deformed kind of chibi stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I was like the
that
dragon
mean-
dagger don't even fit in the holster.
Does that mean you like those messed up looking kids too? The ones like they're probably like if no one was watching, they would just leave them in the park.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is adorable.
Oh my God.
Oh, damn. I'm going right now. I know what's going on with me. All right.
Jen, change your mic.
What? Mike's set right.
No, you're on an echo. Like
You're an echo.
thanks. That's